Welcome to Our Girl Relationships. On this channel, we talk about problems people face in their day-to-day lives. Let's start with a video.
I, a 35-year-old male, got married to the love of my life, and we were blessed with a baby boy. We used to be the happiest family, and life was to its fullest. My wife was my colleague, and we started liking each other within only a few interactions. I proposed to her, and she instantly said yes, and we got happily married. She was the most caring lady I had ever come across. We used to go to the office together after dropping our kid at the daycare. We would come back together, pick him up, would cook together, and life was amazing. My son was just 8 months old when my wife died in a road accident. She had gone on a road trip with friends and met with a tragic accident. This was the greatest loss I had ever faced. It seemed like life would not go any further and would stop right there. But it was a bigger loss for my few months old son, as he was now deprived of motherly love. I had to come back to life and resume it, as there was no other option, and my kid needed my love and attention. I did my best and made sure that I did not compromise anywhere. Life got very tough, not just because my responsibility had doubled, but also because I had this constant burden of sorrow. A year or so later, I met a woman, 28, who worked in a coffee shop. It started with friendship, as I was a very lonely person and had no one to whom I could talk or share my feelings. She was a very gentle woman and a great listener. We would meet after work and would talk for hours, and soon she was also coming over. We would cook something for ourselves and then would talk for long periods. She was also very attracted to my kid and would love to spend time with him. I had no plans of getting married and had no such intention towards her, but she liked me, and I was so occupied that I didn't even notice that. A couple of months passed, and she proposed to me, saying that she would prove to be a great wife along with a great mom. To be very honest, while considering marrying her, I was thinking that my kid needed constant care, and in this way I would be able to provide him with a family. I accepted her proposal, and we got married in a month. Things were very beautiful in the start, as we adjusted in no time, and in no time she seemed like a constant member of our family. She took care of the house, looked after my baby, and never neglected me, even when she was working a full-time job. I was very thankful to her and divided the responsibility of the house between us, as we both were working, and none of us should have been burdened with the whole responsibility. One fine Sunday, she was dusting around and asked why I did still hang my wife's photo frames. I told her that I wanted to feel like she was still here, and also that I did not want my kid to forget this incredible mom. She told me that in this way our kid would grow up with questions and might develop hate toward her, thinking that she had replaced his mom. I told her that she was just making things up in her mind, and why would our son complain like that when his mom was not even alive? She came and sat beside me, asking whether she was not enough for us, to which I replied that her presence had fulfilled our lives, and I was thankful to her. She asked why I was still not able to remove my ex-wife's photos from the house then. I got irritated and yelled that it was my house and things would be the way I wanted them to be. She got up and went to our bedroom, sobbing. I did not want to hurt her and knew how much she was doing for us. It is just that I cannot remove my ex-wife completely from my life and feel it is like disrespecting her and her love for us. It is not that I am not interested in my wife and have married her for my son only, but how can I give her my ex-wife's place? She's already my wife. What else does she expect? AITA? My office decided to transfer me to their abroad branch, as I had been working for them for years, and they considered me a perfect fit for the project going on there. I will have to be there for a long period, and I'm worried about how my wife would manage alone here, as I know how difficult it is to manage a house with a kid when you're also working. I have discussed it with her, and she's confident that she would manage well on her own. I know she's capable of it, but I'm not satisfied at all. I was worried for my son more than my wife, and my main concern was not how my wife would manage things without me, but whether I should leave my child behind and trust my wife with him when she is his stepmom. I don't know whether it's being possessive or what, but I can't trust anyone completely in the case of my son. I asked her if she could take care of him when I was away, to which she replied that it's a ridiculous question to a mom, and why would she be not attentive towards her kid? I think I shouldn't doubt her. I left within a month and kept constant contact with my wife. I was not on call with her, only when we both were working. Also, managing the time difference was very hectic. I did not want to miss any updates from my kid. Just to mention that I had installed hidden cameras in different portions of my house to keep a check, and they were just for the sake of my kid. My wife found one such camera while cleaning and called me to ask what was that doing there. She asked whether I doubted her and still could not trust her, to which I replied that it was only because I wanted to keep an eye on my kid. She told me that his kid was not with some nanny or a babysitter, but with the other parent, and this was the cheapest she expected from me. I told her that I was sorry and I should have trusted her. She asked me where else I had placed them, and she got them removed immediately. She told me that if I was not able to trust her, this relationship meant nothing. AITA? It's been almost 2 years here, and I was able to develop trust in my wife regarding my kid. But that does not mean that I blindly trusted her and stopped being attentive to my kid. I used to video call her most of the time when she was not working and paid close attention to how my son was doing. I would ask her about his routine, his eating habits, and everything. I was sending him gifts constantly through these 2 years and made sure to get the best of the toys for him. It was a random video call when I asked my wife why I could not see those toys around my kid, if they were there and if he enjoyed playing with them. All I could see were blocks or puzzles around him, when I had been sending him remote control cars and planes and whatnots. My wife told me that she had put those toys away because our kid was too young to play with them and she feared he would break them. I asked her if she could show me the toys, to which she yelled that she was not a thief and had no other kids to whom she would gift them. I apologized instantly and told her that I didn't mean it. She was aggressive and her tone was changed. It seemed like she was not triggered by my question, but was already furious. I got to return after 3 years and was so happy to see my kid, who is now grown up and talks so sweetly. My wife and my kid received me from the airport, and we could not stop talking all the way. My kid was shy at first, but was soon all right, and I could not get enough of him. Just 2 days had passed when I told my wife that our son was old enough to play with those gifts, and she should get them out. She changed the subject and did not talk about it. I asked her again, and she said that she would get them out when she would get free. I told her that I could get them if she would tell me where she had kept them. I found out that no such toys existed, and I was furious as they were some expensive pieces. I asked where they were, and she told me that she had sold them because she was jealous, because I had never sent a single gift to her in all 3 years. She started sobbing and told me that this was how much I cared for her or valued her, and had no right to ask her about the gifts. I was startled and could not speak a word. I did not say a word to her, as she was already hurt and kept quiet over the matter. She came to me and apologized, saying she could recover the most recent gifts I had sent. She was constantly crying and told me that she never wanted to do this, but was so angry, thinking that I did not value her and did not even think of her. I told her that I missed her, but she said that I only missed my son, and it was proved. I felt very bad and embarrassed and promised her that I would take care from now on and would never let her feel abandoned. We were able to recover a few gifts, and I did not let my wife return money for them and paid for them. I told her that she could buy something for herself, and that I would make sure that I never forgot to buy gifts for her as well. NTA, being a parent is not easy, and trusting your kids with their step-parents is one of the hardest things, so the OP's concerns were justified. We have come across so many incidents where parents trust people blindly with their kids and then have to face the consequences. Also, as he was miles away and could not reach back immediately, he was rightly worried and should have been understood. Nah, both OP and his wife were right with their concerns. OP was rightfully possessive for his kid being away, and him being obsessed with his kid was also understandable, as he was still not over the small family he had with his ex-wife. But OP's wife was right, as she was actually not being valued and was being underestimated too. OP had to understand that he had left his son with a parent and not with a nanny. Hope he understands that his wife deserves all the love and trust he had for his previous wife.
Next story.
Me and my husband have 7 kids. 17 female, 16 male, 14 female, 13 male, and 13 female, 11 female, and 10 male. In our house, we give our kids an allowance. Each gets the same amount, and they can do more by doing chores. My 13-year-old son by far does the vast majority of chores. He works hard around the house, from laundry to cleaning his room to cleaning various other rooms and more. Sometimes my son's friends help him, and I've heard he helps at their houses. His group are all such good influences on each other. I love those boys. My other kids are not bad or misbehaved by any means. My children are pretty nice kids, but the other ones don't do much around the house. I've even offered upping the money, but they don't care. Only my son does. We are a very, very well off, but don't believe in spoiling our kids. We obviously get them some of what they want, but if they want more, they have to work for it. My 13-year-old hates not being able to get what he wants, so he works for it. A few times, if there's a really big ticket item that he sees somewhere he may not be able to get again, we'll buy it and have him work off some of the price. He loves collecting antique sports memorabilia. Seeing his face every time he's shopping in the antique store for some memorabilia is priceless. He's definitely my shopper. My 13-year-old son and daughter are going to DC for their 7th grade class trip. Over the past few weeks, I've noticed him doing stuff that isn't even on our chore list, and he insisted he wasn't paid for it. My son is somewhat into politics compared to our other kids. He's very progressive, and me and my husband rarely agree with him on politics, but we know he just wants what he thinks is best for everyone. I gave my daughter $200 in spending money, and my son got $325. Any other money they needed to use from what they previously had, they have safe wallets and credit cards I can track. My daughter found out I gave him more and is upset. I feel like, 1, he earned it. He's constantly doing housework. 2, my daughter couldn't care less about politics, and my son cares somewhat, mainly due to athletes he admires talking about politics. 3, while we live in a wealthy area and my kids' friends are also very well off, most kids in the U.S. aren't as well off as us, and she should be grateful for what she gets, and she also has her money from allowances and birthdays. She's upset and claiming he's the favorite. I deal with the finances, and my husband has been hesitant to say anything because he doesn't really look at the finances. He also is the good cop and has a hard time dealing with conflict. Part of the reason he doesn't want to handle finances, he doesn't like fighting over stuff. He's a sweetheart, and I try giving him more control since I don't want to be a controlling wife. But since he doesn't want to have an opinion, that just leaves her mad at me. Am I being an a-hole? Or am I in the right? YTA, there is a clear difference between allowance money for chores and spending money while on a trip. You should give them the same amount of spending money while they're on the trip. Your son can supplement his spending money with his allowance if he wants to spend more.
Next story.
My parents are overbearing. To them, being overly involved in their kids' lives is the default. We are South Asian, so it's normal in our culture. There is a reason I don't live in Alberta with the rest of my family. I don't have a bad relationship with them. I just prefer some space so they can't meddle as much. I have an older brother, a younger brother, and a younger sister. I'm in contact with all of them, but I'm closest with my younger brother because we're only a year apart. Even now, we tell each other things we don't tell anyone else. I thought, at least, this is what my post is about. I have a girlfriend, and we have talked about marriage. My girlfriend adamantly does not want kids. Honestly, I am good either way, so it's not a deal breaker for me. My girlfriend did not have the best home life as a kid. One of her parents went to jail. The other parent married someone with several sons who were younger than my girlfriend. My girlfriend's other parent had, diagnosed by actual doctors, personality disorder. Her step-parent liked to drink. Growing up, my girl was responsible for all the chores to do most of the parenting of her stepbrothers. I told my younger brother all of this. My girlfriend said I could. She has met my whole family by phone, email, and video call, but she has met my brother the most. She knows we're close. I know things about my brother too, like how he left Alberta for a trip with his friends, which was a violation of his probation, or things he didn't get arrested for. There are a million other things. After I told my brother I've been thinking about marriage a lot lately, my parents called me. They forbade me from doing it because she doesn't want kids, and her background, one parent in and out of jail and one in and out of mental institutions. I've never told them anything about it, and they told me my brother tells them everything I don't tell them. They told me several other things. I confided in my brother too. They have forbidden me from marrying my girlfriend and ordered me to break up with her and find a woman who wants kids with a better background. It's weird. They think they have any power to forbid me. Also, my brother, my older brother, has 5 kids and my sister has 2. So they have grandchildren already and will have more in the future because my older brother and my sister want more, and my younger brother also wants kids one day. I feel so betrayed. I've never broken his confidence. I told him to never contact me again. I'm not asking about that. What I would like to know is if saying that if he did, I would tell his probation officer the things he's done to break his probation or the other crimes he's committed. I could prove it. Not only does he think this was unfair, but he told our parents, brother and sister, about it, and they lost it on me and said I was really unfair and wrong to threaten to do that. My younger brother says my parents had a right to know, but he didn't tell me that because I would disagree. NTA, you both clearly should have handled it better. I think you were trying to get him to understand how much of a betrayal of what he did was. The way you went about it wasn't cool, but your family handled it badly too. If you can't marry a person because of her family background, why is it okay for your brother to risk going to prison by breaking probation? The logic is flawed there. Next time, try to calm down before you say or do anything you may regret. But you don't have to think about another person's feelings when they don't consider your own.